G'day guys, Ronnie Dale, Four Wheeling Australia. Welcome to another review. It's been a while. It's been a year and a half towing this X2 Pantry camper's trailer around the country, and it's been requested for a long time to do a review. I think I've had this for 13 months actually, for just over a year. So not a year and a half, just over a year. I'm going to be as unbiased as I possibly can to my ability, but there will be a slight bit of biasness because I do know Justin from Pantry Campers quite well, but he is aware that when I borrow stuff off him, that I tell it how it is, like I did with the X1. So we're going to go through the X2, just like I did with the X1. And there are a couple of things that could be improved, and there are a lot of things that are awesome about this trailer, so stay tuned. I should probably begin this whole review by telling you how I have been using this trailer. And I've been using this trailer in 3 different variants. So the main one is traveling with my mates Torben and Wayne, and we use this as a main hub for cooking. As you'll see later, I'll go through the man cave, which is barbecue side, and you got the cooking side on the other side. So we use this as like a communal hub, storing all our extra camera gear in here and in the back, and camera people, they throw their clothing in the back of this trailer as well. So it serves as a bit of a communal hub. The second way I've been using it is with my family. So me and my wife will sleep up here in this James Baroo tent that's on top of it, and I'll bring a double swag for the kids. But if I'm traveling, this is the third variety of traveling. If I'm traveling just with 1 or 2 of my daughters, we all stay up here. There's just enough room up here, and it's just so much easier because you can throw all this stuff in. And as you can see, it's quite a small trailer. So the X1 is, I believe it's 300mm longer, but there's more cargo area in the X2. As I mentioned, I've been towing that X2 around with my Land Cruiser. It's been through thick and thin. It's been on the beach, it's been in seawater, it's been in the outback, it's been up rocky, like really rocky terrain, and it's been in this gnarly terrain out here following Aussie four-wheelers around. I've been following this vehicle right here on 40s in my Land Cruiser, towing a trailer through some hectic stuff. And I'm happy to report the whole 13 months I've towed that trailer, not one beer or any cargo has been destroyed in it. So it's quite gentle on everything inside it, although you can give it a bit of a flogging. How it tows, I'm very pleased. If you do tow trailers like that on soft beaches, you can get in strife, as you would have seen in some previous videos. However, if you get your tire pressures right and you keep your momentum going, it's not really a problem, especially with that one, because it's only 650 kilos dry. So we'll start by walking around the outside of it. We have 2 gas bottle holders, 1 on either side, and you can sort of strap your bottle in there. I also keep cutting boards in there. Now, not for cutting stuff on because they'll be covered in dirt. This is for the jockey wheel. Now, before we get to the whole tow assembly, let's go to the back. Oh, before we go to the back, we'll go to these storage compartments. This one's for the water. So you get a hose of it. All right, so that plugs in here. Now, there is also an inlet, or an outlet, sorry, I should say, at the back of the trailer. We're running pretty low at the moment, but 70 litres water. Not bad pressure on it. It draws from a 70-litre tank, which is underneath, and this is where you fill it in. That's where the pump is, and that's where you put your wet gear. So that's where the hose lives. Nothing else really lives in there. Moving on over here, we have the storage cages. Now, what I normally put in here is one of the two. It's either rubbish or it's dirty gear. So when I say dirty gear, it's if I've been surfing and my clothes are covered in sand, I chuck it in here. Now, you're gonna have to wash it pretty well when you get home because you see how much dust is in here. It's for dirty stuff. Also, I keep heat beads in here, just in here, because we don't care if heat beads get a bit dirty. So there's 2 of those on each corner. To the other side. So here we have another storage compartment. Now in here we have a charge point so you can put your AC power to it. I keep extra pair of thongs in here. And any US viewers, thongs are for your feet, not your booty cheeks. pegs, all that kind of stuff lives in here. And on this little nook here, we have a solar input, so you can charge with solar. So that is the bottom storage is sort of covered. Let's go to the main side. This is the main side here.
What are you doing with that bloody thing? You're an idiot.
As you can see, it gets used fairly extensively, so there is just crap everywhere in here that's been banged around. It does need a bit of a tidy up, but hey, you get to see how I'm using it. In here we have the switch panel, so that's where the fridge is switched on, water pump, you can hear it now, maybe. Accessories for your charging, and then we have lighting. As you can see, that's the lighting here. Above that is the BMS 30, so it does use a BMS 30, and that's how the solar input works. Goes in there, charges the whole battery on its own. The battery that's in here is only a 100 amp AGM. It used to not be enough for me, but since I changed the fridge in the back, it's actually enough now. We'll get to that part. We also have the water gauge in here, which is showing a bit low. Here's all your shelving. So normally I keep just all kitchen stuff here, you know, coffee bags, baking paper, snap-lock bags, all that stuff lives here. Up here we have some cups, plates usually up in this section. This is a little micro pantry where you usually keep just spices and things in, just all your small stuff, your condiments. And then we have the top shelf over here, which has gas cookers and other cleaning material and stuff, and also holds the hose for the cooker, which is right here. So that's the cool part about this cooker, how it comes out like this. The bad part about the cooker is I'm not a big fan of the Bromic cookers. In wind, they don't hold up too well, and especially in Western Australia, the wind is, you know, we're having a nice day today actually, but normally the wind is howling. Over in the West, we tend to give up on this cooker. So that is one thing that I believe that Justin is also improving, or Patriot campers are improving. One other minor issue that I'm not a big fan of, it's not a deal breaker of course, but say you have the cooker out and you got your bowls, your plates, you got your cutting board and stuff over here. When you're prepping food, stuff goes everywhere. But now if I want to get some spices, it kind of gets in the way a little bit, this drawer here. So what I have suggested to Patriot was, instead of putting the drawer down here, put it up here, because then it's a shelf and it's just more space. So as I said, it's not a deal breaker, but it's just one of those little things that could be improved. We're on to the cargo side now. This is the same side that you access the tent from. Well, the way it's been configured here. So let's have a look in here. What I'll do is I'll review the James Baru on a separate video. So this side usually houses, now I left some bags at home because I'm not camping, I'm just showing you guys the trailer here. Toiletries, soap, all that kind of stuff is in this bag. So that lives in here. My drone case. This comes in real handy when we're documenting our travels and stuff. It's just pull up with a trailer, flap this down, bang this out, get the drone out, and we are off and going again. And it's just quickly slapping in like that. So it's like kind of like a quick access area. And then tools and whatnot in these other bags. Tucked in this corner there is an inverter, which is a 300 or 350 watts red arc inverter, so that's in there. These seals up here, which you can see from in here, these paper filters, they actually seal up pretty good. There's not a lot of dust comes in here. Most of the dust that does come in is from the top of the doors when you open it, or it's from when they're being opened. So sealing for dust is done pretty well. This is the main compartment, the rear. One thing I will say before I show you what's in here, it goes really far in, really deep. So you have to be selective of what you put at the back there, because you can't really lean in, right? It's, yeah. But you can quickly sort that issue by just doing this. You can see how quick I'm doing it. So if you really need to get into the back of it, 1, 2. There we go. And now I can lean right in. I can actually touch the other side. Mind you, I am pretty tall. So let's lift this back up before I forget. So as I already spoke about, this is a main storage compartment. Now it's not that wide, so you got to be selective of boxes you use, but I can get those, what are they? The camp cover ammo cases. They will slide in here actually. They fit perfectly in there. So here we have the pantry. I should probably show you before I pull all this out. You can just do that to get to your utensils. Now half my utensils are out at the moment, being washed. But that is one handy thing, you don't have to pull this whole thing out. But here we go, so this is a main pantry. And there's the fridge. There used to be a Waco fridge here. I changed to an Engel because I find they're more efficient and they run less. When I had the Waco in here before, my battery would be right down. It'd be right down. This fridge barely runs. So that is one of the major changes I've done to this. So there's now a Waco sitting in my garage. Now for the pantry. This pantry holds quite a bit. What do you reckon for a group of 4 guys?
It's not bad, eh?
About a week, 10 days, we've got enough storage.
Yep.
Here and here. So what generally happens is all the snacks and stuff go in the different vehicles, fridges. My fridge in the back of my cruiser, but all the main food goes in here. So all our mince, bacon,
pork roast.
Pork roast. Yeah, pork. Don't forget about the pork roast. All our communal food goes in here. All our communal dry food goes in here as well. So we're just quite efficient with it nowadays. And under here, we have a sink. Well, here we are, boys and girls, ladies and gents. We are at the man cave. The man cave. There we go. So there are a few different variations I do when I tow this trailer. And that is, oh, we're in the shade now. This is good. This is really good. We have the Weber Q on a swing away arm right here, which is absolutely handy. This is my favorite part of the whole trailer, this whole section here. There are 2 variants, as I said. I will carry water and fuel or fuel and fuel in the front here if I need more. Sometimes I won't have this. I'll just have all my camp ovens, electric blower because it helps with fires, so you get the fire cranking. And there we go. We're pulling it out. Put the wings out. And then I keep the barbecue plates up here. So up here in this top shelf, I keep all my cooking gear. We got pans, we got like a bit of a wok up here as well. There used to be a gas heater, so you could have like a hot shower. So around here, this is a gas hot water system, which I left out in the rain. Hopefully it's going to be all right afterwards. That tucks up in here where all the Weber Q and stuff is. And all these hoses going on. It looks like a lot of effort to set this up, but when you want to shower, you're obviously going to be hanging around for a little bit, so it's not too bad. And then I'm using my shower tent here. And you can plumb it through your water system on this trailer. I figured it's a communal hub, so if I took all the water to have showers with, well, that's not really fair. What about the best thing and the worst thing? Let's do that, because that's the general question I get asked in relation to most things. The worst thing about this trailer, I reckon, is the awning that's on there. Here's one thing that I don't like. This awning is very useless. It's too small, it doesn't give you much coverage, and you've got to have poles, you've got to peg it down. It's the old school fox wing. I kind of, hate's a strong word, but I almost hate that awning. So that's, I've even torn it here actually. It's a bit of a pain. So I don't know, might temporarily put a normal awning on it. So what's the best thing about this trailer? I reckon the best thing about it is the whole package of what it is. Everything's so compact, everything fits in, it's really nimble. It has a short drawbar, which I'll get to. And it just allows you to get this thing into places you probably wouldn't get other trailers into. The suspension is off-road. This thing probably handles better than the Land Cruiser does in some situations. The X2 doesn't have the twin shocks like the X1 does, but I don't think the twin shocks really matters much, to be honest. But on coils it's fine. It was on 33s. I pulled those 33s off and I put 35s on it, and I got them to change the stud pattern and everything to suit the Land Cruiser. So it's got Toyota bearings, it's got the same rims, the same tyres as what's on my Land Cruiser towing it. So that way, if I come into any trouble with a stake, I have more spares to move around. In terms of the drawbar and the jockey wheel and the hitch, let's talk about that. This hitch is the best hitch I've ever seen. So if you have a boat trailer or whatever trailer you have, I would highly encourage you to change to this hitch. It's so cool, it's so easy to drop your trailer back on. The jockey wheel, that is one thing you will have to disconnect every time you want to open the man cave and you want to stop and disconnect the trailer. You have to take it off here and put it here. And the reason for that is because of the short drawbar, there's nowhere really to put it. So that's just how this is. You're just going to make sure that you tighten it back up before you take off, or you may not have a jockey wheel. The spare tyre underneath, I tried to fit a 35 underneath. It can fit, but you lose so much clearance that I decided just to put the 33 back in under there. So I left the spare 35 at home. There's a spare 33 there. Look, worst case scenario, I do one of these tyres. It just means the trailer's going to be sitting on the piss, but that's okay. It's not like it's the vehicle. These are definitely done. Let's turn this off. Having a short drawbar is really awesome. It has its pros and it has its cons. The pro is you can get through all these little tight areas. You don't have to oversteer to allow for the trailer to come back through. You do have to do it a little bit, but not as much. The worst part about this short drawbar will be the fact that when you're reversing, you have to constantly be active on that wheel. Once you lose the trailer, when you're reversing, start over. That will be my preferred drawbar length. Fuel usage. The best way to describe that is I would use on average about 2 litres per 100 more than if I don't tow. 2 to 3, no more than that. We just came from Perth to Sydney, and Torben, who's in the other Land Cruiser not towing versus me towing, he used 17 litres per 100 on one stretch, I used 19. Another stretch he used 19, I used 21. And the best fuel we got was he used 14 and I used 16. This is not a heavy trailer to tow. It sits quite low as well. Behind the vehicle, there's not much wind drag on it. Final conclusion on this trailer, would I recommend it to yourself or anyone else? Yes, I would. Now, if you're the type of person that thinks this is way too expensive, then it's not the trailer for you. Then you want to get a cheaper trailer. But is a cheaper trailer going to be able to do what this trailer can do? So the amount of attention to detail in this trailer and what this trailer has gone through, I can trust this trailer. I know that it's in the 13 months I've had it, it's not going to break down or destroy gear inside it or stuff like that. I'd say you're getting what you're paying for. You know, everything comes at a cost. So if it's out of your price range, it's not the trailer for you. If you are a family of 4, this is not the trailer for you, because you kind of want a tent. You may need to look at an X1 or something else. This is probably a bit too small for a family of 4. Although I do camp with a family of 4 with this trailer. We bring a swag along with us. A community hub like we're using it as, Yeah, perfect. It's small, it's nimble, it can get through tight sections, as you would have seen in the videos. It's not too heavy. It floats on the sand pretty well, providing the vehicle is not too heavy. As far as that's all I really have to say. So make your own conclusion, tell me what you think, and thanks for watching the video. And to all those people who've been waiting for this review, I'm sorry it took so long, but I like to test things for a long period of time. So there you have it, guys. See you in the next video. I'm gonna have some bacon and eggs.